yesterday, residents of Michigan, one of the hardest hit states, defied local distancing regulations to stage protests demanding that Governor Gretchen Whitmer ease restrictions, even chanting, "Lock her up." What did y'all make of this when you saw it? What about you, Sonny? Let's start with you.
Well, I was trying to figure out why there were Confederate flags flying around during the, being waved around during this alleged protest, just because I couldn't figure out what that had to do with the coronavirus. I mean, if you are indeed upset about the stay-at-home order, I can understand that because it is probably, I think, the most restrictive in the country, and people are very concerned about that. I get that, but I guess I just didn't understand the manner within which it was done. Everybody was close together. People were getting out of their cars. They're waving the Confederate flag. I thought rather than it becoming sort of a stay-at-home order protest, it seemed to become some sort of racist protest.
Right. Megan, you're a little torn about this?
I cannot stop thinking about this sort of existential crisis that we're having right now, because on one end, as Sonny pointed out, it is considered one of the most restrictive measures in Michigan. And just to name a few things, you can't buy vegetable seeds or gardening tools. You can't buy carpet, flooring, or paint to work from home. You can't go fishing in boats alone, and you can't visit anyone, even one-on-one. So like if I wanted to go visit a family member, that's not allowed. I do think that the question that we're all, I think, struggling with right now, we were talking about it even just briefly before the show started, is yes, the economy is staggering, and it looks like we're well on the way to entering into a second Great Depression. And I want the economy to open up. I want life to go back to normal. I also don't want people to die. And in some of the states, like in South Dakota, where they've been sort of more lax on it and they haven't shut down the state, you're now seeing a surge of coronavirus cases. And I think, unfortunately, it's just this great existential question that no one seems to have the answer to. I will say that if I couldn't buy vegetable seeds or gardening tools, and I don't have a garden, but if I did, I would find that a complete and utter government overreach. And I do think that Governor Whitmer needs to lean back on some of these restrictions, because people are doing the best they can to entertain themselves at home. And if you want to repaint your house, that's certainly one of the safest things I can think you can be doing right now.
Right. So, Joy, you have questions you wanted to ask the protesters, like what?
Well, I'd like to ask them if they're willing to sign away their right to treatment if and when they get infected. Are you going to say, okay, I don't need a ventilator because I thought I should go out and defy the governor's order? Okay? And I'd like to know if people in states that are following the guidelines, like people like us in New York, can be sure that these people don't come here. I mean, they blocked an ambulance the other day. Can't they be charged and arrested for that? I understand the fact that, you know, they're upset because they can't get their veggies. But hello, we're talking about this disease being way more infecting and worse than they even thought. You know? And by the way, they're watching Fox a little too much. They're watching Laura Ingraham, who tweeted, "Time to get your freedom back." And then the brilliant Janine Pirro, in early March, she was parroting Trump that the infection rate would drop as the weather warms. I mean, this is who they're listening to. So again, then will you say I won't get the treatment if I get the virus? That's my question.
Right. Well, it's interesting. I'd love to know why the governor made some of the choices she made. Perhaps people don't realize that this is, you know, this is a disease that doesn't care about your economic status. It doesn't care about your politics. This will take you out. And maybe that's what people need. Maybe people need to get sick in order to realize that, you know, we'd all like to go outside, but not if it's going to spread everything.